Okay, today's stoic problem is we have 4 irons plus 3 oxygen gases equals 2 iron 3 oxides. And in the reaction, 624 grams of oxygen gas were used. How many moles of iron 3 oxide were produced? Okay, so first we got to write down what we know atop of the equation. Remember, make sure that's always balanced. It came to us balanced, 4, 4, 6, 6. But it's not a bad idea to always just double check that. We have 624 grams of oxygen. So we're going to write that right above there, 624 grams. And we want to find how many moles of iron 3 oxide. So question mark, because we don't know the magnitude or the size of that number. But we do know that we want the answer in moles. So your unknown as well as your known are just going to go right above the equation to help you make sure you have that pathway. And then you write down what you know, 624 grams of O2. And we're starting off with grams in chemical A. So we're at archipelago A. We're at grams. Where do we have to go to change chemicals? Always to mole island. So every single time you do this, you're going to be going to that center island if it doesn't already start you there. And then you'll use the mole ratio to get to the second archipelago. Okay. So grams to moles and then mole ratio. So let's do it one step at a time. Right here, we're just going grams to moles. Okay, so grams is on the bottom because grams is on the top. And it's 1 mole because we're using molar mass. What is the molar mass of oxygen? It's 32.00. Okay, so if we stopped right here, we'd have moles of O2 as our answer. But we want moles of iron 2 oxide, and that's where that coming across that mole ratio right there, the USS mole ratio is the only one that can take us from mole island A to mole island B, to the mole island of the second chemical. So here's where we would use our mole ratio. And where do we get the mole ratio? Right off of the reaction. But a lot of people want to put it in upside down. Remember, it's always what you started with is on the bottom, and what you want to find is on the top. So we started with oxygen, so moles of oxygen. And we want to find moles of iron 3 oxide. Okay. And now where do I get this? Moles of oxygen? I use the coefficients. So there are 3 moles of oxygen for every 2 moles of iron oxide. This 3 does not go over here or your answer will not come out right. This is molar mass, grams in 1 mole. Mole ratio, use the coefficients in the reaction. Okay, make sure you keep those steps separate or you're going to run into issues. Now we're ending with moles of iron 3 oxide, which is what we wanted. So we know we're on the right track. So let's cancel grams and grams, moles and moles. We end up with moles. Slide that over there a little bit. So it's going to be 624 times 2 divided by 32.00, and then either hit the equals or have used parentheses. Okay, so 624 times 2 divided by 32.00 equals, divided by 3 equals. And what you are going to get is something that needs to go to 3 sig figs. So 13.0 moles.